Today, you're going to learn two things. Firstly, you're going to learn how native English speakers talk about their family members. And secondly, you're going to get lots of hints and tips on pronunciation so you can sound like a native English speaker as well. For a free guide to this lesson, simply click the link in the first comment or the one in the description below. However, if you're already a member of our English Improvers community, this will be sent to you automatically. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this. Now this little boy is called Bob and we're going to use his family in this lesson. Let's start with this word, family. And lots of English learners mispronounce this. The first thing we're going to do is change that I vowel sound to the schwa sound. That's that little that's so common in English. And then we're going to make the front of the word the strong part. And we do this by making the vowel sound A longer. So it's fam-ally. And at normal speed, family, family. You try. And in a sentence, I have a large family. And these are Bob's parents. To pronounce that AR in the word parent, make the air sound. So the front of the word sounds just like pear, the fruit, pear. And make sure at the end you pronounce that soft TS sound. Parents, parents. You try, parents. One of Bob's parents is his mother. Notice again we change that ER at the end to the schwa sound. It's not mother, it's mother, mother. And we do exactly the same with the word father. But with the word father, we stretch out that vowel sound, that A sound again, to make the front of the word stronger. Father, father. You try. Now it's a little formal to use the words mother and father in everyday conversations. Instead, you would normally say mum and dad. I was just talking to my mum.
How is she?
She's fine, but she said my dad has a bad cold. Even when you're introducing them, you would normally say, this is my mum, this is my dad. This is not a question. This is something you know, a statement. So at the end of the sentence, make the pitch in your voice go down. So it's not, this is my mum, this is my dad. It sounds like a question. We need to go down at the end because it's a statement. This is my mum, this is my dad. Dad, this is my dad. You try. This is my mum, this is my dad. Very little children might call their parents mummy and daddy, but as they grow older, it's very unusual to hear them called anything but mum and dad. These are Bob's siblings, and siblings are either brothers or sisters. I have 3 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. How many siblings do you have? Let me know in the comments. The word brother has that schwa again at the end because of the ER, so it's brother. And for the plural, we just put an S on the end, so it's brothers. And once more, it's the same for sister, the little schwa at the end, sister. And the plural, just with a little S, sisters. Brothers and sisters. You try. Repeat after me. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters, but she has 2 brothers and only 1 sister. In casual informal English, you may hear bro or bruv. instead of the word brother. My brother calls me bruv, and for sister, it's usually shortened down to just sis. These are Bob's grandparents. A common mistake with this word is to try and pronounce the D in the middle of it. When a D is between two consonant sounds, like it is here, it stays silent when we say it. So it's not grandparents, it's grandparents. You try, grandparents. And your grandparents are made up of your grandmother and your grandfather. During everyday conversations, you might hear granddad instead of grandfather. And it's really common to hear nan instead of grandmother.
I'm going to see my nan and granddad tomorrow.
Next, we have 3 generations going back in time. There's Bob, his parents, and his grandparents. And for every generation that we go back further than that, we add the word great in front. So Bob's grandparents' parents are his great-grandparents. And their parents are his great-great-grandparents, and so on and so on. Bob's dad doesn't have any siblings, but his mum has a brother and a sister. So these are Bob's aunt and uncle. It's really common to hear an E sound put on the end of aunt, so it becomes auntie. Another thing about the word aunt, some people lengthen the vowel sound at the beginning, so it sounds more like aunt and auntie. But it's not all that common, so stick with aunt, it's easier. And these titles are usually put in front of someone's first name. So for example, I'm Uncle Steve. Now Bob's aunt is married, and the person that she's married also becomes Bob's uncle, even though they're not blood relatives. And their children become Bob's cousins. The word cousin works for both boys and girls. How many cousins do you have?
I have 6 cousins. 3 are girls and 3 are boys.
To Bob's mum and dad, these children are called a niece if they're a girl, and a nephew if they're a boy. And to Bob's auntie and uncle, Bob is their nephew. Now practice your pronunciation of nieces and nephews by repeating this sentence. My niece is nice, and my nephew is nice too. As we've already seen, not all of your family are related by blood to you, but instead they're related through marriage. And when this happens, we add in-law to the front of their title. So your wife or husband's parents are your mother-in-law and father-in-law. And if your brother marries, his wife becomes your sister-in-law. To say this in fast, natural English, we move the R from the end of sister to the front of the I in, so it becomes sister-in-law. And at normal speed, sister-in-law. Try that, sister-in-law. Now practice by repeating these after me. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law. Now a quick quiz to make sure we have all these family relationships really clear in our head.
Bob is on holiday with his family, and his dad's sister gives him an ice cream. Would she say, A, here you go, nephew, B, enjoy this, cousin, or C, I've got this for you, son-in-law? And the answer is A, here you go, nephew. Bob's sister has just had a baby boy. When he gets older, what will he call Bob? A, Cousin Bob, B, Bruv, or C, Uncle Bob? And the answer is C. Uncle Bob. Bob is going to visit his nan. What relationship is she to Bob's mum? Is she A. her mother, B. her auntie, or C. no relationship at all? And the answer is A. her mother. Bob's sister has got married, so he now has a new nephew, B. new uncle, or C. new brother-in-law. And the answer is C. new brother-in-law. Bob's granddad is showing him some old photos of his father. Who's in the pictures? Is it A. Bob's super-grandfather, B. Bob's great-grandfather, or C. Bob's great-great-grandfather? And the answer is B. Bob's great-grandfather.
For you to become part of the Learn English Sound British family, just click on the bus to subscribe. And then click on this link for another great English language lesson. I'll see you next time.